Hello and welcome to Module 4 of Getting Online One Step at a Time. I'm Harry Parker. Module 4 is going to be pretty big. It's going to be fun. You're going to be doing a lot of infrastructural type changes to your site. So before we start throwing themes on it and really getting into posting and all that, let's make sure the foundation that we have on our site is up to date, current, and tricked out. This particular video is going to concentrate on this section right here, basically changing your site URL. And the things you're going to learn in this particular video are how to use your FTP manager application in GoDaddy, how to copy a file to another location, and how to edit that file. And of course, a little bit more about your WordPress site and how it works. In the future videos, we're going to configure your new site in Solid Foundation. We're going to go over key areas of your dashboard. We're going to install new free plugins to make your site awesome. You're going to open a Google account if you don't have one. We're going to set up a FeedBurner account. We're going to set up a Google Analytics account. Don't let any of this scare you. Doesn't make any sense. It will over time. Just pay attention. Follow the instructions. You can't go wrong. All right, so to get this done, you're going to have your browser open, and you're going to have to be logged into GoDaddy, and you want to be at your dashboard on your site. Okay, so make sure you get that done, and when you get that done, come back. All right, so let's go over a little bit about your URL. If you're in your dashboard, go down to Settings, hit General, and basically what we're going to change is this line right here. Okay, so you have two. See how these two lines are the same? You have two different addresses here. This is their WordPress URL, and that's your site URL. Well, what's the difference? Well, WordPress address, that's where we installed WordPress. That's where all the information is. Your site address is the site, the actual address of your WordPress site, which, as you can see, is the same. Well, what we're going to do for this video is we're going to change this so it's just that. And nobody will be the wiser, because what's going to happen is we're gonna configure it so when people type in your main domain name, the files will tell it to go to here to find the information. So this will now become your domain, because if you don't do it, then if you want to see your site, you will always have to go to that address, and we don't want that. We just want the domain. Okay. That doesn't make sense just yet. Just follow along. So let's just kind of go over what we're doing here. And these are all downloadable. This is part of your downloads that you should have read or have downloaded or will download before you do all this. But you can follow along with this. I highly suggest that you read this over before you do this and watch this video before you do it. So here we go. We created a domain on your server, okay, called whatever you wanted to call it, okay? And then we installed WordPress to a folder called site, all right? So the real address of your new website is actually that. You get it? Because that's the folder, that's the small site is the folder everything's in. So right now, if you did what I told you on the video to install WordPress to sort of site, the full address you'd have to use all the time would be this. So we don't want that. We just want the domain name. So what we're going to do is just kind of clean it up so we can have our address to be just the domain. So we have to copy instruction files. These aren't folders, they're files. Index PHP and the htaccess files, and paste them into the root folder. Now, the root folder is the domain folder, okay? And then all we do is simply change that index PHP that we copied and tell it to go here to get the information. And no one will see that. It's all background stuff. So this way, when someone types in your main domain, the internet looks for the index that we changed, finds it, and it says go to the site folder, and the internet does and finds your website. Simple. And remember, if you get stuck on any of this, you can call GoDaddy. Now, it's important that you do everything just the way you've got to do it properly and in order, because you might not be able to get into your site. But don't freak out. It'll all be okay. I've done this many times. So go to the general panel. We're going to go to the site address URL. We're going to change that, get rid of the site, and make it just a domain. We're going to click Save Changes, and then we're going to go to GoDaddy on the FTP, and then we're going to copy and not move the the access files to the root folder, and then we're going to edit the index file, and then this shows you exactly what we're going to edit right here, and we're just going to add in site if that's what you put, and that index now is going to tell it where to go. And your login will still be the same because that's where your WordPress stuff is. So your login will still be the same address. That won't change. And if you look at this address I've got highlighted, you'll see it's your domain, it's the folder site, and then it's WP-admin. And it should be, I think, PHP as well. So now go to the settings of permalinks. So actually, it really should be PHP. Like that. There we go. Now go to the settings, permalink. Last thing we're going to do is going to go to permalinks, and I'll show you what those are, and we'll reset those, and that actually resets the access file automatically, which is really, really nice. So that's about it. That's all we really have to do. So let's go do it, shall we? All right, so we're going to go to GoDaddy. First we're going to go here. You're going to change your site address. You're going to get rid of this folder name, right? And then you're going to go down here and you're going to click Save. Now, I'm not going to do this. There's no reason for me to do it because I already have harryparkeronline.com. If I did that, it would totally mess everything up for me, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go to the domain. I'm logged in. I'm going to pull down my account. Now, since we did all these tutorials, they've changed GoDaddy a little bit, but don't freak out. They're making it more intuitive. So you can see I go to my account, and we're going to go to web hosting. Make sure you go to web hosting, and you can see right here, you hit launch, and that's going to give us our hosting manager, hosting dashboard, hosting control center. You can see right here, here's our hosting dashboard, and it's actually, if you look up here, hosting control center. And this is how we manage a lot of stuff, your email, everything. So we're going to go file manager, which is right here, and then that's going to show us how we get into our folders. It's awesome. So while this loads up, now this is HTML is where everything is, right? This is where everything is. So your root folder for this particular domain is going to say your domain on it. Okay? So mine's Harry Parker Online. And if you look inside this, if I expand this, you can see site. That's where my actual site is. And then you can see test site. This is the actual website I'm working on. So I actually have two websites under Harry Parker Online. And that's pretty cool. That may not make sense to you right now. So anyway, we're going to use test site. And whatever you called your folder, that's the one you're going to go into. And if I look in here, I can see this one and this one is the ones I need. And I'm going to click copy. And all it's asking you to do here, all it's asking you to do is just click the file you want to go to. Now I want to put it in the root folder, which is Harry Parker Online, and it's clicked, and I'd click OK, and it would copy it over there. Well, I'm not going to do that because I already have those files in there. So just go ahead and do that. Now then you go back to your root folder. Oop, I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go to my root folder, and there you're going to see, I've already done this for my other one called site. I've already done it. So we're going to click on index, and then look up here. There's a little edit button. You just press that, and look, it pulls that file open, and here's what they're talking about. It's right here. And then all you're going to do is add your folder name, whatever you called it. You know, if you followed my instructions, you called it site, and you're going to insert that name right there. You're going to make sure that it has the dot and the hyphen, and then your folder, and then the hyphen, just like it shows right there. And then it's going to save it, and then that's done. I mean, that's really all you need to do for the GoDaddy. And then when you come back to your blog, you are going to be logged out, And if you look at this thing, you'll see how it says wp.login.php. I'll change it on the handout, but that will remain the same, and that's going to bring you right back to your deal. So just log back in. And that's going to get us right back to here. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is just reset the permalinks. Very easy. Just go to Settings, down to the permalinks. We don't have a custom structure yet. We will, but we're still going to save it because that's what the instructions say. So we're going to save it just like that, and that's it. Make sure to do any updates here before you do anything. If you've got any numbers up here, do your updates. Always update WordPress first, then your plugins, and then your themes, in that order. And after you've got all that done, make sure everything's working. Then let's move on to the next video.